Dixon Dedman. Dixon Dedman's a 43-year-old blender who has quickly established himself as one of the most prolific American whiskey blenders in the industry. Known for his high-proof, robust bourbon and rye blends, he grew up on the whiskey trail, infusing the learnings from industry legends with his culinary expertise from running his family's business, the famed and James Beard Award-winning Beaumont Inn. He founded, launched, and served as master blender for Kentucky Owl from 2014 to 2020 and was responsible for growing that brand across all 50 states and 14 international markets. Dixon's talk is titled, My First Starting, What I Didn't Know I Didn't Know. Dixon Dedman.
Let me tell you something, I don't know who that guy is, and I can promise you I did not write that. And it's weird every time somebody introduces me with something like that. I, have done a lot of things. The current brand I have up here is 2XO. Kind of what I'm going to talk to you about is starting the first brand I started called Kentucky Owl. And so for the last 15 years of my life, what I do is travel around and talk to people about bourbon and drink bourbon with people. And so naturally, when Wofford said, do you want to speak? I said, absolutely, let's have a bourbon tasting. And they said, no, Dixon, you can't do that. And I let it go. And then I came up with this super clever idea to talk about what I didn't know that I didn't know. And I got out a piece of paper and I started making notes. And then I realized if I kind of went through the list of the things that I didn't know, I would sound like somebody that was just completely destined to fail. And it was, and the reality of it is, there are a million things, later, you start figuring out how important it is to have, a good corporate structure and have attorneys and have all the paperwork and the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and you need the CPA that helps you plan for, all the tax things that happen down the road, and you launch something and you sell something, and the next thing you know, the government says, hey, we want our piece of that, and you're going, I don't even have that money. What are you talking about? There's a million of those things. But the reality is, I felt like what I should do is talk to you about a problem that I had, how we kind of went about solving that problem. And maybe that solution could be applicable to whatever it is that y'all choose to do in your life or your career. Again, lots of issues, right? Struggle with a lot of things. Startup, it was a passion project. It was a passion project that really lacked a lot of kind of forward thinking, a lot of vision. What's year 2 look like? I don't know. What's year 3 look like? I don't have any idea. This is fun. I got it out. We'll figure it out as we go. And that catches up to you real fast. The big thing as we got traction with my first brand that I realized is, I am a startup. We are a startup. We are playing in a world with multi-billion-dollar international corporations. We don't have that kind of checkbook, right? The biggest question I started to face was, how are we going to market this product? How are we going to get this product out there in front of people, get them excited about it on what is effectively a shoestring budget? I can't go buy an ad in Vogue magazine, and Elle magazine, and Sports Illustrated, and whatever. I can't go buy a Super Bowl ad. I can't go buy billboards. I don't have this supplier arm that can put my product in front of everybody and out there. So, it was really kind of a grassroots approach, but I kind of leaned back into what I learned growing up in the hospitality business and in the innkeeping business. And that's really about, the power of the personal experience. My family, 100 years in the innkeeping business. James Beard Award, that's kind of a big deal. 5th generation, we did it for a long time. We didn't invent the restaurant. We didn't invent the hotel. It wasn't this novel thing that we came up with, but we figured out a way to provide a personal experience that people kept coming back to time and time again. That's how you get longevity in business. It was the personal experience that we created. The whole idea with your life, your business, whatever you're going to do, you're not going to go reinvent the mousetrap. We talk about that a lot, reinventing the mousetrap. You're not going to invent or reinvent the mousetrap. What you've got to do in your life, whatever path you take, is to figure out a unique way to catch mice that brings people to your particular business, if that makes sense. There's a lot to that, I guess, but at the end of the day, what we did was walk away from trying to be a brand that's marketed, that's put out there like every other product, because we couldn't do that. And how do you go create individual, unique, one-on-one experiences? How do you get people to buy into your product? How do you get people to understand that the service that you're offering, the product that you're offering, what you're giving them is a meaningful experience to them? The big thing is, everybody, you go and you find somebody to do something for you, and that's essentially getting you from point A to point B. How do you get that, instead of being just a transition from point A to point B, how do you get that into a memorable, personal journey that people not only enjoy, but want to take again? Because the biggest thing that happens when you do that is they become advocates of your product. They become advocates of your service. They become advocates of your brand. And I don't care what kind of survey you take. I don't care where you go look, what you read. And at the end of the day, still, right now, today, every day, the best form of advertising for your brand, for your service, for whatever it is you're doing, the best form of advertising is always word of mouth. And if those people are advocates of your brand because they have a personal connection to your product, then you become, or you're creating, a group of advocates who go out and market on your behalf. And that is a heck of a lot cheaper than buying a Super Bowl ad or something like that. So I would tell you, whatever you do, whatever field you're in, whatever you pursue, every interaction you have, if you can make it a personal experience for your customers, for your clients, for your consumers, that leads to building a much bigger group of advocates for your product moving forward. Thank you.